Hey everybody! In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you the creation of the background that I used in my Sandpiper video part 1. And this is actually created with silk flowers. So if you have some silk flowers laying around, or if you just want to buy some, I have a link to the ones that I'm using below, but any silk flower will work. I do find that the ones that have a little center like this, a textured center, seem to do the best for this background, but it's a great way to either create a really pretty floral background that's obviously flowers, or a very abstract background with one of the ghost prints like I used to recreate the surf, and you will see me create that print today. So to begin with, I'm using golden open paints. These are paints that I chose for transparency. You can see the transparency marked on the tube of the paint. And I really like printing with transparent colors. But these also will stay wet longer. So they're great for gel printing because you don't have to hurry up and do your print before the paint dries. Sometimes that can lead to a result that you don't like. And so for a lot of reasons, I really enjoy printing with these paints. So what you want to do is just smash the flowers really hard onto the wet paint. And on this one, I'm making sure I get that center of that flower really smashed down so I get a little impression. But even on this kind of fuller flower, it really looks like a flower, and you're going to see when I pick up the print. But it's easy for me to see on the plate. So I will just go until there's pattern all over the paint, and then I will pull a print. I use copy paper exclusively for gel printing. It gives you the best contact with the plate. I use an ultra smooth, bright white variety. The surface of the paper does matter. Cheap copy paper can have kind of a rougher surface, and that can actually tear a little bit. So look at this stunning floral background. It's multicolored. It has all the detail of all the flowers. It's just incredible. I love doing this so much. They look so three-dimensional on the plate. It's amazing. And with this open paint, I'm going to get several ghost prints, which is how I created the surf. So I will pick up the ghost print for this one. You can see that almost cleans the plate. Same level of detail, but just a little bit paler, and so pretty. I just love this so much. So again, I found that the flowers with the center worked a little bit better. So now I'll move on to an opaque version, and I will speed this up a little bit. This is going to be kind of repetitive. And I'm putting this beautiful periwinkle blue, which is an opaque golden open paint, down. And without cleaning the flowers, I'm just pressing them into the paint, and that will transfer some of the paint. Now my paint was a little bit too thick, so I removed some, and then I am printing again with these flowers. And you can see the yellow is transferring. Some of the red is transferring from the prior print. And as I pick up more and more of the blue paint, then the next print will have blue paint on it. So it's kind of a fun, it gives you sort of a mixed media look without you really mixing your media too much. So when I pull this off, you can see all that detail and how it sort of looks like an X-ray. It's very 3D. You get a lot of the floral detail, and we'll do another blue one. And this is the one that I actually used for the surf. So you'll see the difference between a transparent blue paint and an opaque blue paint. So I'll go around and lift these up, and you can see already this is so beautiful. It just looks like a bunch of roses, and I'm just using the same flower over and over again. This is the fuller flower that doesn't have a little plastic center, and to me it just looks like roses, and it's so pretty. This one will have a more abstract look because it's just the same pattern over and over again. See how that looks? Really beautiful, bright blue. You can see the detail of the flowers, and I'll be able to get ghost prints from this as well. So this is the first ghost print, and you can see it's really not that much lighter than the first one, which probably means maybe I had a thicker layer of paint. But when I go to pull the third print, that is when you get the look of that surf. And that's what I used for the Sandpiper card. So now I'll do some more of these single color prints. I love the Brayer cleaning sheets from this type of process. They're always such pretty backgrounds too. And this one I'll use a variety of flowers again. This big rose is so pretty and it just squishes down so nice. And then I have a little like hydrangea style flower, and then these sort of daisy looking ones that are really, really pretty. But I find that the monochrome, because you have so much texture in prints when you're printing with found objects like this, you really only need one color. It's really beautiful just like that. Look at that detail and dimension. And then I'll get a ghost print from this one as well. You can see though that I didn't put quite as much paint on the plate as I did with the blue one. So when I go to pull the third one, it's going to be a lot paler. So that's very pale, but you still get all the detail. And then my plate is nice and clean at the end of it. So now we'll do a yellow one. This is a very thin layer of paint, so this will be really interesting, and I'm going to be transferring some of the color from the previous prints onto the yellow, so this should be really interesting to get the reds and the blue from the flowers transferred onto the yellow, so I'll get kind of a textural and color contrast on this one. So we will see what this looks like. I happen to love this one. I think it looks like distressed, like Victorian water wallpaper. And I think that that's really fun. So I'm going to repeat it. And I'm going to just use this flower over and over again. And we'll see how that goes just with the blue. And of course, that's going to turn it green a little bit because that is sort of a transparent color. Look at that. It's so pretty. Again, looks like wallpaper to me. It looks like, or fabric, like a great fabric pattern. I should put this one on spoon flower. It's so pretty. And I have enough left down there to grab one print, and that's real pale and really pretty. So I'm going to try the yellow again because I'm really into this now. So I will do one more print and just pick up with the kind of fluffy flower that doesn't have a defined center. And I'm going to put a little bit of red onto a second gel press. I'm going to kind of use this as a palette because I haven't seen a lot of the red in the other yellow prints. And I'm going to plop the fluffy flower down onto that yellow paint, and we're going to see what we get. I think this is going to be pretty. I like this fluffy flower a lot for the kind of overall background texture. I do love those little daisies, but look at that. Look at all those petals. And I love how it lifted out the center, so it was kind of white. I think that's really pretty. That one might actually be my favorite. I know I keep saying that, but as I go through and watch these again, I really like the yellow ones a lot. The pale one is very pretty as well. So I'll do the same thing, create a palette on the smaller gel press. I do this a lot because especially with golden open paints, you don't get a super smooth application of the paint directly onto the plate. Whereas if you spread it out on another plate and then roll that on, you can a lot of times get a much smoother look. So I'm doing the same thing this time with blue, except I'm using the fluffy flower and picking up red paint from the smaller plate. We're going to see if this turns into purple or if it really retains the red. Now, the good news is after I use that little palette, I can get a print off that as well. So let's see what the blue and the red looks like. See if it's as good as the red and the yellow. Ooh, that's pretty. It didn't really turn purple. So those two didn't mix. It kind of stayed really discreet where I had put the flower down. So there's a little bit of violet in that ghost print, but it's really pretty much red and blue. So that's kind of fun to see. And then I'll pick up a real pale one. There you go. There's your surf print. And then here are the other prints kind of in backwards order. You can see how beautiful they all are. I love this process. I'm definitely going to do this again. And your flowers are fine with the paint on them. Just keep them, put them in your gel printing found objects box and use them over and over and over again. It's a very inexpensive little texture tool. So here's the finished card. Head over to my blog for more information, and thanks so much for watching.